Hello everyone! Baby Crone is back again. Let's get more into astrology. So now we're going to be talking about the second half of the Zodiac sign. And I'm going to show you guys how to really visualize the birth chart. Because I did talk about visualizing the birth chart 2 videos ago now. And in that video, I showed you how the birth chart is used as a compass and as a clock, and how you can visualize it if you're looking at it on the physical earth and looking at it on the horizon. Well, now I'm going to show you in a program how this is like literally working in 3 dimensions, so you can clearly see and visualize what it looks like when the earth is rotating and when the planets are moving. So let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy this video. This one is going to be a bit shorter because I am not going to be having that much to talk about with the visualizing the birth chart. I'm literally just going to be showing pictures. So let's just jump right in and talk about the zodiac signs where we left off. Libra, we're now in fall. Whoo-wee! And we just left Libra, didn't we? Libra is an air sign. It's the start of fall, so it's cardinal, and it is ruled by Venus. And as I said, some zodiac signs are not ruled by animals. Libra just happens to be one of them. They're the scales and the balance of life. How you balance justice. When something's unbalanced, it's unjust, and we need to fix it and restore it and bring it back to harmony. So now we're back to being balanced, and now everything's just in the way it's supposed to be, and everything's not out of order. That is about Libra. Wow, I talked about Libra before even reading the cards. So Libra is diplomatic, intelligent, and social. Libras are also about balance. Ruled by Venus, they prefer sturdy relationships, balance, that are full of shared experiences, meaning they enjoy sharing, they love being around and being fruitful. When they don't find a partner to offer the balance and mirroring they seek, they must undergo a great deal of self-discovery, meaning going within and restoring the balance, because they're searching for something that's outside of them when really it's inside of you. And they have to go inside and figure out what that is that they're searching for and restore balance in themselves, so that way they're not seeking outwards and they feel whole and complete within themselves. So what about Venus, who rules Libra? While Venus represents our romantic inclinations and our pleasures, it also governs our relationships with money, past, present, and future. It expresses our tastes, including preferences in art and style. It represents how we choose to live a luxurious, good life. Because, man, do we not like to pleasure ourselves and dabble in the beauties that Earth can give us? But in this case, Venus is not an Earth sign, because we're not talking about Taurus. But Venus is an air sign now because it's in Libra. So it's all about enjoying the mental connections that you get with people, enjoying sharing the information, enjoying getting to learn and share and enjoy other experiences that are different from you. So this is what Venus is in the contents of air rather than in the content of Earth. So moving on to Scorpio. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to say Libra was the 7th house. Moving on to Scorpio, who's the 8th house, and this is a really heavy, deep house. It was ruled by a lot of things, unlike most of the zodiac planets. Because really, to understand Scorpio, you have to like really go deep and dark and understand. So Scorpio is still fall. Hello, we're in fall, but now we're in the thickets of fall, right? So that's why it's fixed. It's ruled by Mars. It's ruled by Pluto, who astronomers now say is no longer a planet, but in astrology, Mars is still a planet. and it is ruled by the asteroid Lilith, if you know Lilith from the Bible. So, a little bit about Scorpio. They are brave, passionate, and loyal. Scorpio is one of the most determined signs in the zodiac signs. They are often met with many difficult life experiences that force them to grow beyond their years. Scorpios connect deeply to the phases of life, death, and rebirth, the generation. Think of the infinity sign, that circle continuous loop. That shows you the regeneration, life and death. It's the balanced cycle of life. Represented by the scorpion, sting. They can be fierce. If you cross a Scorpio, prepare to be stung. So, let's learn a little bit about Mars. Mars is also known as the warring planet, the warrior planet. With the as in Rome's, they was all about the spears and using that as a way to be a warrior and protect yourself in battle. Strike you with my spear. Mars is associated with confidence, courage, and ambition in life. Because in order to deal with life and death, you have to take it strong. You have to be strong and know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you can lose yourself in something that is way too deep for you. After all, this is water. If you think about water, we're not talking about like no H2O that you drink or like a lake. Think about like an ocean that's so deep down that you can't even see the bottom layers. These are the layers that Scorpios are willing to go, and they're like don't care who they cross or like who they use to get there, because it's all about this drive to understand. So they're willing to go to the deep and depths of what humanity really is about. And that's why Scorpios are all about the taboos of life and all about being mysterious. It also represents Mars, our carnal passions, sexuality, and lust for life. So that is about Mars. Now let's learn about Lilith, the asteroid, and this is the symbol for Mars. This is the symbol for Lilith, who we're about to talk about now, and then Pluto, who we're going to read about next. According to ancient Jewish mythology, astrology passed through Israel. Lilith was Adam's first wife even before Eve, if you did not know the story of Lilith. Lilith eventually chooses exile because she is unwilling to be subservient to her husband. She was just like, no, me and Adam are equal, okay? He is not above me. We are equals because I was taken from his rib. Well, not taken from his rib. We were both equally created, and we are equals. Where Eve was taken from a rib of Adam, and therefore she was more subservient because she was the lesser of him, because she was a part of him. Where Lilith was her own whole outside of Adam, and she did not want to be subservient. She did not want to be passive. She did not want to be submissive. She was like, I'm me. I'm going to be me. You're going to be you, and we're going to get along with each other. And they were just like, that's not how it's going to work. Bye-bye. You're gone. And that really made Lilith enraged, right? Represented as a sexually freed female demon to the night, she is often disparaged in traditional texts. Asteroid Lilith represents sexual liberation, standing up to power, and feminine rage. I'm glad they didn't talk about the other half of Lilith's story, because that is just a bit too much for me. So Pluto, as we talked about in the previous video when I talked about the first 6 zodiac signs, we was talking about Ceres, another asteroid, and how Ceres in mythology had a daughter named Persephone who was stolen by Pluto. Well, here's Pluto. Pluto represents transformation and rebirth. Pluto is literally the lord of the underworld because it is so far out there in the dark that it's like the afterlife and the dark crevices of like humanity that does not want to be touched, honestly. Pluto also represents a challenge or power struggle, the one who never gives up on an argument. This planet forces us to confront our shadow self, our tempers and our passions, and come out stronger. That's what represents transformation. We're talking about Pluto, death and rebirth. In order to transform, something old has to die and something new has to come forth. And you have to be strong in that. So, we're going to move on now to Sagittarius. Team Sag here. So, my birthday is coming up soon, guys, because I'm at the end of fall, which makes me a mutable fire sign. And Jupiter is ruled by, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter and Chiron. I forgot to put the symbol for Chiron, and the picture of Chiron, so I will put the pictures here. My bad. And this shows you another picture. A zodiac sign that is not human, well, almost human. This is a centaur, half human, half horse. So Sagittarius, represented by a centaur. The sign Sagittarius is a magnificent archer of the zodiac sign. They shoot the arrows of truth. They like to search deep and wide because you can't restrain a horse. A horse is free, a horse likes to roam. And by roaming and exploring, you're able to gather information and new experiences and grow your information and mind. Very generous and juvenile, full of energy. They will give the shirt off their back to anyone in need. Because of this, Sagittarius must be careful of overextending themselves and being too quick to make decisions. They have an uncanny ability to land on their feet in tough situations. So, what does Jupiter represent? Jupiter represents luck, learning, and growth. It's associated with long-distance travel, higher education, philosophy, publishing, scholarly pursuits, fairness, and reason. Jupiter is also associated with gambling and may act on a whim to place a bet and win big as a result of its lucky ability to gain success swiftly. Never one to stay put in the same place for long. Jupiter moves around seeking knowledge in order to cultivate an understanding of life. So what does Chiron represent? We're in the 9th house. And the next video in this series is going to be breaking down the houses where we will learn more in depth how these zodiac signs play into the houses, which represent literal aspects of human life, 12 aspects that make up life. Chiron is associated. Chiron is named after the centaur Chiron in mythology, a wounded healer. In astrology, Chiron represents a deep wound in our souls and our attempt to heal that wound, but cannot. But through this, we've gained information because we kept seeking, because we were just determined to find that information. This wound can arise in relationships and mental health situations unless properly attended to. This is just a little bit about Chiron that we need to know. So now we're going to be moving on to winter. Woo! We are now at the home stretch. We're at the last quarter of the year. Literally, this is 1, 2, 3. Last quarter, and we're done with the zodiac signs. So Capricorn is represented by a goat. This is not a ram like Aries. And Capricorn is a winter sign and starts winter, so it's cardinal, and Capricorn is an earth sign. It's ruled by it's ruled by Saturn, and it is in the 10th house. So one of the most serious signs of the zodiac, Capricorn is here to get the job done. Capricorn, a major shift happens for most Capricorns during a huge transit known as the Saturn return. They are ruled by the planet Saturn, which teaches patience and serves as a guide towards inner authority. Saturn is often considered the father of the cosmos. It's associated with discipline, hard lessons, and pushes us towards the right path, whether we like it or not. Saturn is also associated with our personal karma. Remember Vedic astrology? Personal karma, holding us accountable for our past decisions and helping us learn from them. This is what Capricorn is about, and winter. Ooh, what a way to start the dead, right? Moving on to Aquarius. Traditionally, Aquarius, being a water bearer, is a feminine job. However, in astrology, the water bearer is symbolized to be a man pouring water. So it's a masculine doing a feminine job. And that shows you the gender bending or the challenging the norms that Aquarius represents. And we're still in winter, and it's an air sign, and it's fixed. Ruled by Uranus and Saturn. Uranus and Saturn, and is in the 11th house. Unique, fun-loving, and independent. Aquarius love their freedom and can become temperamental if they feel limited. Symbolized by the water bearer, they are known for their brilliant minds and devotion to humanitarian causes. So what does Uranus represent? Sometimes called the Great Awakener, brings the drama, Uranus. It is associated with unexpected change, innovation, discovery, liberation, and structural transformation, and can cause a lot of upheaval, revolution. Uranus can also add a quirky, trailblazing, freedom-loving vibe to our charts. So if you want to know where you're quirky and where you choose to stand different, Uranus is your planet. Pisces, we're at the end of the zodiac sign and at the end of winter, so we're mutable. And Pisces is a water sign, and it is symbolized by two fish swimming in opposite directions. So I picked a two-headed fish. Pisces is in the 12th house and is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. Symbolized by the fish, Pisces are full of compassion and kindness. They are the most spiritual and psychologically connected to all of the zodiac wheel, approaching life from a space of faith and empathy. Intuitive, gentle, and selfless. They are humanitarians who feel tremendous pain for the world's problems, and they may not be great about communicating their own pain or needs, because they understand the hardships, so they don't want to bear you with their hardships. Why add to the pain? Neptune. Neptune represents inspiration, dreams, and illusions. Dreams can become reality when Neptune is present, but only if we are honest with ourselves. Neptune can lead us to Neptune can lead us to delude ourselves, make ourselves delusional, get stuck in our own fantasies and thinking. And if our goals are not reasonable or clear, we may stumble and falter while trying to transform our ideas into reality. If it's not stable and not balanced, it's shaky, it's unbalanced, it's gonna be hard to grow on shaky foundation. Neptune is also associated with escapism, drugs, and alcohol, and with tunnel vision and delusion when it comes to matters of love. So that is the end of the zodiac signs. I hope you enjoyed going through these 12 zodiac signs while we really covered the last 6. So we covered the second half of the year, which is fall and winter. So now I'm going to show you how to visualize your birth chart. If you want to think about what it looks like, So at the time that I made this video, currently the sun has set, but when I was making this presentation, the sun was just getting ready to set. So this is where the sun, this is the horizon, this is what we would see if we were standing physically on Earth, as you'll see. So this is where the sun is. This is important because you're going to see it on the couple of slides. And Jupiter, right here, as you will see, it's also important because you're going to be able to see Jupiter. And that means that you're going to also be able to see these planets specifically, maybe. Mostly Jupiter and not Uranus, maybe Saturn, depending how bright it is. You will be able to see these planets when the sun sets. So this is one-dimensional, as you see. You can only see in one direction. And this is what the compass represents. Everything rises in the east, sets in the west. Therefore, this is our south and this is our north. So, bada bing, bada boom. This is what it looks like if we literally took you out of Earth and you was looking at Earth in the sun from a satellite perspective. So, the sun. Remember, I said the sun was right here. This is our horizon. You see the sun right here. Jupiter was just slightly above the horizon. You see Jupiter just slightly above the horizon. You see Saturn almost at the very peak of the sky. You see Saturn here, almost at the peak of the sky. And there are some other planets that you're unable to see because they're below the horizon. However, a key point that I want to talk about is this is what space looks like. It doesn't, another picture I will talk about it when it looks like it on Earth. But this is a zoomed out, so this is what space literally looks like. This is, you will literally see these dots, no names, but you will see these dots if you was looking at Earth. Of course you would see lights and physical continents and clouds. But stellarium just shows you the physical ground Earth. So this is what the birth chart looks like in 3D. One dimension, where was the sun in perspective to the Earth when I was born? Oh, it was right here. Wow, interesting. This is why learning about the time and where you were born is important. So as you see right here, this is why it is very important to know where and what time you were born. Because as you see in this perspective, this is another way to view the birth chart. Still have the east right here. But however, as you see, Jupiter just above the horizon, Jupiter just below the horizon, Sun just above the horizon, Sun just below the horizon. So therefore, this is how it can look different and look wacky. And this is why it's important to know your birthday and birth time and where you were born, because it can look slightly different depending on which perspective they choose to look at when pulling up your chart. And this is what it looks like on the horizon. As you see, the sun is just above the horizon, which means it is still daytime, and therefore you're not able to see any of this because the sun's light is just way too bright. However, in the stellarium, you're able to remove the atmosphere, as they call it, and you're able to see the sky without the effects of the sunlight coming in the atmosphere of the Earth and getting in the way. And that's why we cannot see the stars and planets during the day, because the sun's light just drowns out all the other light. And yep. Well, thank you guys for this video. I enjoy talking to you, and I'm enjoying this series on the Crash Course of Astrology. I hope you guys are learning. So like, comment, and subscribe. I will talk to you guys later. Bye!